Hello and welcome to a random tutorial. Well, this isn't really random. I guess it's going to be my 50th subscriber tutorial. I guess, I don't know. This tutorial is going to be about good software to get if you're being a programmer or something. Then this is the type of software that I highly recommend you get. Okay, so I'll be covering software for Java, C++, Visual Basic, and simple image editing software, and some miscellaneous software. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so first up we're going to be looking for some good Java software. So first thing I can recommend is Eclipse. If you just want a simple Java IDE that most professionals use, go look up Eclipse. Downloads, this is how you would download it. You would probably try to get the classic. If you're like working for a company, you could get this, which includes the classic plus some other stuff. This is basically the same thing as that. It doesn't matter. This is the lowest memory size. So if you have a low computer, and you can choose Windows 32-bit, and then you can also pick Linux or Mac OS. So there's a good download for Java. Let's say you wanted a good Java graphical user interface. You could go to NetBeans, and NetBeans is a Java IDE also. Working with NetBeans is a little bit more professional. It gives you a bit more support. You have more power with it. Although I like the Eclipse look a bit better, and this has a graphical user interface builder, so you can build graphical user interfaces faster than if you wanted to from scratch. There's one more IDE I can recommend. If you are a student and you want to learn about IDE creation or something, go to BlueJ IDE, and it'll be bluej.org. And this is good if you want to be a student and you want to see how classes interact and things like that. Again, this is if you're a student. This isn't if you want to be like a multi-billion-dollar person. This is if you're like learning about Java and how classes and objects work with each other. Go to BlueJ, and then you can see Mac OS X, Windows, Debian, Ubuntu, and all other systems, whatever that means. Okay, next we'll be going over C++ IDEs. C++ is a little bit harder to recommend. Here's the first thing. If you want a simple IDE, you can go with Turbo C++, and if you wanted to download it, you could click on it. I've never worked with Turbo C++. Works with quite a bit of platforms, mostly Windows-based, looks like. I wouldn't doubt it. Once you go into C++ IDEs, they're more platform independent. The next one I can recommend is Code Blocks. And you can see I have these web history, whatever. Download. Code Blocks is cross-platform, and it is my favorite IDE for C++. These are download. You want to download the binary release always. Source code, if you really wanted to look at the source code. So if you want to click on the download binary, you have your Mac, Linux, Windows. I told you that this is cross-platform. That's a pretty great IDE. I love it. It has so many templates. That's what I use for my tutorials. Okay, and the next one is Visual C++, and I absolutely don't like this one. This is Windows exclusive by Microsoft. Install now. Pretty simple. I already have it, so I won't install. And one more thing, there's also NetBeans, and as I told you, NetBeans is a Java IDE. However, if you go to where is it? There's something around here. If you go to download, okay. NetBeans is a pretty great free IDE. Let's say you wanted to be in between a Java and C++ developer. You can download the all version, which will include all of this. It'll include C++, Java, blah blah blah. Or if you wanted, you could just download the C++ IDE. You have to do configuration by yourself, things that Microsoft, the Visual C++ and CodeBlocks doesn't do. And one more thing I have to recommend is when you download a different compiler or a different IDE than CodeBlocks, I recommend getting the GCC compiler, and you have to learn how to set that up yourself. For NetBeans, you have to download that. I don't know about Turbo C++ or Dev. I know CodeBlocks comes with it, which is why I love CodeBlocks even more. Okay, next we're learning about image editing software, and until then, yeah. Imaging editing software can be a little easier to find. For my first recommendation is if you have a Windows system, get Paint.net. If you have Windows 7, you'll be able to do a simple download. If you have Windows XP or 2006 or something, hold on, that's not correct. Okay, yeah, you want to go get Paint.net and download whatever. This is Windows exclusive also. I think, I don't know, I've only, either way, get that. It's a pretty easy, it's mostly mainstream. If you're looking for a more powerful image editor, I would get GIMP, and a lot of people use GIMP. It's a pretty good image editing software. There really isn't a difference. Sometimes I'll bring up GIMP, sometimes I'll bring up Paint.net. GIMP has a much slower come up time, but hold on. Also, what you can do is you can get, if you want, you can get Photoshop. And honestly, I think this is too excessive. If you're like me and you don't have any money, GIMP is fine, Paint.net's perfect. I don't have any money for Paint or Photoshop. Just, you know, if you have Photoshop, great. And I think students can get this for free. Don't look, you know, don't get mad at me if I lie to you, but. And last but not least is our secondary software that you might need, plus all those IDEs and stuff. So we covered Eclipse and stuff. What you might need is you might want to get Notepad++. It's pretty simple. Go to downloads. It's like Notepad plus more features. There's another one. Let's say you want to do Visual Basic. There's another great IDE. Visual Basic 2010. Pretty good. That's if you want to do Visual Basic stuff. Has a okay graphical user interface developing, but I'd rather use Java or C++ for something professional. Hold on. If you want to, something else I recommend is getting WinRAR, and if that's for, if you want to extract a zip or RAR files, it's great. It's free. Well, it's not free. It has a 40-day trial, but if you go past that 40-day trial, WinRAR doesn't care. You can keep using it. Something else, if you want to make your own videos, you could do Microsoft Encoder Expression 4. Download, right? And this is Windows exclusive. I heard things about Cam Studio. I honestly find this a little too hard to set up, and Fraps, just don't even worry about that. This is the one I use right now. You can get Cam Studio, and for me, audio doesn't record, which is why that came up in my search bar. Python, if you want to do Python development, there's a Python website. Python programming language. Be sure you don't click on one about snakes, because that's not the correct one. And you know, I think that's probably good for your recommended software and other programs tutorial. And thanks for subscribing. Thanks for making this channel go stronger. Yeah, well, thanks. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Bye.